Welcome to Real 45 with Stefan and Greg Hancock. We vibe out and have real talk, so tune in and check this out. Yeah, today is a new day. Let's seize it now and get hyped. We talking about our career.
Yes, we're back. Sitting in our studios here. This is the Real 45 podcast. I'm Greg Hancock. What's your name?
I'm Stefan.
I think I ask you that every week.
Yeah, I haven't changed it yet.
No, and this is the funny part because I don't ever listen, right? I just go with it and forget, and then I'm like, who are you? Like, what was that again? And then you're always pretty good to remind me.
Yeah.
And look at me with that blank look, like, are you stupid? Didn't you ask me this last week too? No, I'm just kidding.
That was happening in my head.
Yeah. That's, I can read your mind, though. I'm a mind reader. So here we are, episode number 33, titled as Speedway of Nations.
Yes.
And that's pretty much for one reason, because the Speedway of Nations, which I know you're a huge fan of, this is like, you've been waiting for this, right?
Yeah.
You're
Absolutely.
Like, you're the biggest Speedway fan of mine. And the Speedway of Nations is actually something very new to all of us. So we're being sarcastic right now in case you people didn't know that. But yeah, it's just how I am.
Yeah. When is it coming?
We're starting this weekend.
Oh.
Is at the 2nd of June. And the American team drew their qualifying round in Teterow, Germany. And this is it's a new system. We've had this Speedway, the World Cup, they've called it for the last, I don't know how many years. And they've changed the format now, suddenly, out of nowhere. Everything changed completely, and they've created a whole new system that's going to pretty much open the door for many different countries, big or small, to actually be a part of this and be competitive and potentially get to a final, which is a 2-day final. The old format was you had 2 semifinals. It was basically four countries in one semifinal, 4 countries in another semifinal, and the host country, wherever the final was going to be, the host country, whether it's Sweden, Denmark, Poland, England, the hosting country is seeded directly to the final. So then you have 2 semifinals where of groups of 4 that play off. The first place of each semifinal goes directly to the final. Second and third place in each round go to a race-off.
Ah.
And then in the race-off, the winner of the race-off goes to the final.
Okay.
Joined by the 2 winners of the first 2 semifinals and the seeded country, who is the host nation. Now, they've changed it to what they call the Speedway of Nations, and it's more of a pairs event. The old World Cup was teams of 4 riders and 1 reserve. Now we're teams of 2 riders with 1 reserve, and the reserve has to be under 21.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
Encouraging the youth of tomorrow, of today, however you want to look at it, and the American team, we've had a hard time over the last 5-7 years to create a strength and depth type of a team of 4 riders that can go into an event and go all the way to the final. We've been in the finals, but we've also been very, very close numerous times. And we tend to get out of the semifinal okay, and then we get to the race-off, and we've given them a run for their money many times, and sometimes we haven't been in the running for the money either. Now, it's the Speedway of Nations, a pairs event, more or less, and 2 semifinals, so to speak. You know what? I'm not too up on exactly how they're classifying this, but it's something that has been put forward to me very recently. I hopped out of the American team from last year, said I would no longer be involved because I thought it was better to let the kids, I shouldn't say the kids, but the young guys to take over and hold down the fort. Mm-hmm. And this year, it's with the Speedway of Nations, the way it's come in. Lance King, our team manager from the U.S., has been very influential in trying to build a team that could be competitive. And he asked me early on. I said, no, I'm not interested. And he came back to me, no, I'm not interested. And he's been back and forth, and he doesn't give up, you know. And Lance and I are really good friends. We've been buddies for many, many years. And now he pretty much at a late stage came back again and said, listen, I have an idea and I have a plan, and you're in that plan, and I hope that you will listen to what I have to say, and let's try to put something together. I want to see you back in the world team. I want to work with you, and I think we have a really good chance to go all the way to the final if we do it this way. And basically he said, I would like to have you, and I would like to have Luke Becker, who's been working with you from the start of the season, and you know, you guys have been helping him to kind of get his feet wet in Europe, and we see his progress is showing. So what are the chances of having him involved, you guys, with your new team concept with Hancock High, and putting together some new packages for potential marketing to make some money, and support the future of the sport, but also to really market the American team and try to put something more into it, more effort, more finance, and show the world that we are a future driving force, a true future driving force. What do you say? So back and forth discussions, and I said, well, you know, that is kind of interesting. Let me discuss it with my lead guy, Raphael High, and see if he's interested in this, and how can we support it and get support from existing sponsors, new sponsors. And we've been hard at it now for about 4 or 5 weeks, trying to develop some interest, and it's starting to come. People are starting to show the interest, but they're not really sure where we're going with it. So we will run as the Team USA under the Hancock High Grand Prix banner. And originally the whole idea was to jump in, and myself and Luke Becker would be the only 2 guys in the team. There's not really any place for a reserve rider if we do it this way, because there's not many under 21 kids that have the potential that even Luke has. But I think having a guy like him in the squad, and being young, being very aggressive at this stage, quick learner, and he's hopped across the water to chase the dream, you know, and become future world champ, hopefully. So it all sounds really good. And then very recently, he has his first option made an agreement to ride for Brost in Denmark in the Danish First Division. Had his first race last weekend in Holsted in Denmark. First heat, first corner. Has a tango with one of the other younger riders in the team, which basically sets him up for a beeline shot straight into the fence. And goes down pretty hard. It was a spectacular crash, and came away with a dislocated shoulder.
No.
Which completely throws a damper on the whole plan from the beginning. And I'm going to stop right there.
Because we have Luke, into the show.
Yeah, I'm back. This is the 3rd time being on the podcast, so like I was telling Greg, I'm starting to feel a little special now.
Oh, you're special. Trust me, you're special. You're a 3-timer.
Yeah, no, everything's been going good. It's clearly had a little hiccup in the road right now. Just to start off, it was kind of a long journey to even get to Denmark, with having flights canceled and having to take buses and have to get hotels from flights getting canceled, and finally getting to Poland a little later than expected, and getting bikes all built up and ready to go for the race, and then hopping in in the van for about, I think it was 10 hours or so to get there, end up having a guy help me out, a guy from Poland, and doesn't speak too much of English, and kind of not really any, and so he knows how to get the job done being a mechanic, doing everything bike-wise, so he was huge help and couldn't have done it without him. We were kind of in the spot looking for someone to go with me, so for him to step in and say the okay to help us out and go with me, that was just a real big help, and huge shout out to him for doing that. But yeah, no, we made the journey there and drove all throughout the night to get there, and finally get there and go out for my first heat on the track, first corner, and come out of gate 2 and had another rider out of gate 1 and kind of just leaned on him a little bit, and yeah, like Greg said, I had a slight little tangle up and ended up shooting me straight into the fence and walking away with a dislocated shoulder. So it was definitely a main thing right now, especially with Speedway of Nations coming this Saturday, and of course just super bummed I can't make it, and I was really excited for this and to be teamed up with Greg, and like he's been basically my idol ever since throwing my leg on a speedway bike, so to be teamed up with him in this big of a competition, which is almost treated like a GP with how big it is and on live TV and everyone watching, so I was really looking forward to it. And now this happened, that that's racing. You can't really dread on it. You got to take what you can from it and learn from it all, rather than thinking about the negative parts of it and where you're going to come away with it as. And yeah, no, I'm super bummed that can't make it, but I'm still going to be there and supporting the team, and gonna have my face, show myself there, and hopefully give them best of luck and as much encouragement as I can to do the best that they can and hopefully go all the way and make it to the final.
How do you feel now? How is the shoulder?
I mean, it's pretty sore. It's only about 3 days afterwards, so it's still really sore and not really getting any better right now. I'm still feeling the way it has been, but it's only been 3 days, so I wasn't really expecting to feel a lot better, ready to go yet. But no, even right after it happened, we were kind of thinking about just seeing how I feel midweek. The doctors and everything said that I shouldn't even be out of the sling for about 2 weeks just to let it fully heal, and don't want to risk anything else happening, and say even just riding and it popping out. But if I were to get in a crash or anything like that, I could really screw it up and potentially need surgery, so I don't want to risk anything like that. And no, it's better to, even though I'm having to step out for it, it's better and thinking about the bigger picture and everything else I got going for me with the World Under-21 Championship coming up and the AMA Nationals back home and some new contracts that I'm just working out, and kind of need to make sure I'm fully fit for those and not rush myself to get out there early and potentially mess things up more and maybe even put me out for the whole season. So I'm fortunate right now. We went to the doctors and got x-rays done after the meeting, and fortunately didn't have any broken bones, or I didn't end up damage any like nerves or anything like that. I just dislocated it and had it put back in, and now I'm just a process of letting it heal and not trying to rush it, getting on a bike sooner than I should be, and messing things up even more. And plus I don't really want to go out for this big of a race and have this lot of pressure on me and not really be able to ride to my full potential and not be 100%, and not only for me but for the team as well. I don't want to go out there and say something happened where I have to pull out the meeting halfway through or anything like that, and then like affect the results and the Team USA getting into the final. So definitely having someone come in that can give 100% and give it their all, I think that's the better option, not just for me, not thinking the bigger picture wise, but for overall for Team USA.
Yeah, but you can hear, in your voice too, that's you talk about the pressure or not letting people down. You're putting way more pressure on yourself than the pressure that's actually on you.
Yeah.
In that way, and that's what makes you special, because you're probably one of your own worst critics in such a way, and you're taking this as such a serious motivational thing, this is what we'd all like to hear, And I'm the first one to tell you, like, dude, there's no pressure. This is like all opportunity. But the fact that you're putting that kind of pressure on yourself, or that demand, says everything.
Yeah.
Because you want to succeed. And a lot of times things are going to go good. You're going to win a lot of races. You're going to lose a lot of races. And you just learn from every one of them. This is just going to be great because you're rolling with it, and you've been doing so many things lately. You've been riding so many different bikes, engine combinations, chassis combinations. You know, we're still looking at other ideas for you too that we think can even be better for you and your size and all that kind of stuff. That for me, it's like even more motivating because I'm looking at you going, I see so many things that maybe I can't make him like me, you know. I can only throw ideas at him and try this and try that, and I keep telling him, do you got to ride like this and ride like this, see this picture how I did it like this, and then I think, see how he reacts to it. It's kind of cool.
How does it feel to have this kind of, what do you call it, I mean the information right from a champ?
Basically getting the advice from the real
Advice,
Greg
yeah.
Hancock right here.
The real, yeah, as
The
his
real
mom,
Greg
his mom
Hancock.
calls me the real Greg Hancock. Yeah.
No, but I mean, is it like you're testing all the things that he says? So it's like you just process it and it's like and make it your own.
Yeah, no, I mean, luckily me and Greg are really similar with how our height and just how we kind of ride on the bike overall, and everything that he's telling me and trying to force into me to make me adapt to and change little things in my style. It all makes like perfect sense, and even
Just hard to do, huh?
yeah, even at first, like we're changing just things like slight things on the bike, like seat heights and peg heights and bars and all those little things. They make a real big impact on just your feeling on the bike. And it's kind of he when I first hopped on him, and I'm like, dude, I don't like this. Like, this does not feel good for me at all. Like, it just feels so awkward. And he's like, oh, this is because you're kind of used to something that you shouldn't be used to. Like, what you're
habit.
yeah, like what you're riding back home and everything. You're just kind of like making bad habits for yourself, and you're used to something you really shouldn't be used to. And he just saying how he did the same thing growing up, and it took a long time to get him to kind of his setups and thinking
Still
the way,
learning.
yeah, thinking the way he does. So he's just trying to get me to look and realize these things a lot sooner than and then taking years and years to adapt to it, and just trying to force it in me from the start. And even it took like probably 3 weeks or a month or so when I was first over here for the last trip, and still just did not. I was telling him, like, dude, I just feel so awkward, like, not feel comfortable. And then after forcing myself to ride it for almost like a month, and now I'm starting to like see what he's saying, and I'm like, dude, now I'm starting to like it. Like, I'm real starting to see what you're saying now and talking about. And then even when I went back home for this last national round, first thing I did when I got home was I went in the garage and sat on my bikes that I absolutely loved before I left. And when I was over for the first like month, all I wanted was my bikes and my setup, because that's what I was used to and what I liked. And come back home and sit on my bikes, I'm just like, man, I feel so weird on my bikes now. Now I don't like my bikes. Now I want those bikes that I was riding over there. So now it's I've just been everything about it, just on and off the bike, and just adapting to the environment and just the whole racing lifestyle. Has been learning a lot, and yeah, no, just super fortunate to have someone like Greg right now guiding me and aiming me in the right direction for success only.
It's almost like taking, in a way, brushing your teeth with your right hand and trying to make him brush them with his left hand in some cases.
That's hard. I try that.
So it's, and it's the one thing that we've been doing recently, and helping him with. And it is like that in one way, because I'm really making him take a step back or 2 steps back to make a change, and it's... you can't do it riding wide open and just change everything. It doesn't work. So the only way to do it sometimes, in my opinion, is to slow down and rework it and then bring the speed back. Because if you're trying to do it wide open, you're going to end up on your head, or you're going to end up in these awkward feelings that he's having, and there's nothing wrong with stepping back and looking at it and doing it in another way and then getting it right. And he's doing it. It took a little bit of time, and a few people watch, and he feels really awkward because he's having to learn how to ride slow, and all he ever wants to do is go fast. So
Of course.
but if you can't ride slow, then there's no way to ride fast, really. You have to know how to ride slow, because that's your control. And it's there's a lot of riders that understand that, and a lot of them that don't. So it's been fun working, and we've been in Poland a lot, working with some good people, and he's spent a lot of time with Maciek Janowski too, and now also been riding and been practicing with us in Dekana and working with some really good people there. And of course Peter Carlson, who's an absolute legend of the sport, has offered some very similar advice and mentioned a lot of the same things. So it makes me feel good that we're on the same page, you know. So and he hears it, not just from me.
Exactly.
Going, you gotta do like this. No, do like this. Come on, man.
Yeah, I know. And then even in some situations, Greg will tell me to do this, and this is what I do, and then I watch him, and he doesn't do it sometimes, and I'm like, dude, I just watch you. Look at these videos and everything. Like you're not doing what you're telling me. And all he says is, "Do as I say, not as I do." So no, I mean.
Oh, I've always got to. I'm quick for the comeback. Like, no, but hey, you know what? You can still see that I put my foot there and I do this there at that point, and then I don't do it like this, and I do it like that.
Yeah. No, he has,
I'm always on him.
Yeah,
he has a way
good.
to negotiate it or
Yeah.
try to make me still feel stupid.
No, don't you remember one of the first rules when you came in to stay with us was I'm always right, and
Yeah.
even when I'm wrong, I'm always right.
But is it like when you actually get used to it and learn it, have it in your body that this is how you should do it, then you can start getting off from it, because different situations make you do. But you
Different
always have
things,
this.
yeah. And isn't that kind of in life too, right? No matter what you do, you know, you have to make, if it's a decision making or
Oh yeah.
maybe.
Maybe. So,
But-
how do you think it has been in Europe now? Is it still exciting and fun, or is it just?
Oh yeah, no, it's just getting even more exciting and fun the more going around. Like, especially, I got to go watch my first GP. My first GP I've seen in person. It was the Warsaw first round of the GP, and man, that was just unbelievable. Like, just walking on the track during practice and just looking at the stadium. This is the day before the actual race, and just blown away. Like, just doesn't even feel real almost. And I'm going in, and I could see Greg's mechanics, and then even Kelly Inman was there too, and like telling them like how just crazy and just unreal this is. And they're like, yeah, well, wait till it's packed tomorrow with 55,000 people almost and sold out stadium. Then you're really gonna be getting that feeling. And yeah, no, then the day of the race came around, and it's just, yeah, like I said, it felt unreal just how big racing is over here. Not, of course, that's probably one of the best venues out of all the GPs with how many people there and all the fans and everything. And like, even I was with Kelly Inman a lot of the time in the pits and during the races and everything, and there's even some times where I'm trying to talk to him and I almost can't even hear myself talking. It's so loud with these Polish fans, and Polish fans just crazy off the wall. It's just with all their horns and how loud they are and how much they get into it. It's just it's so cool to watch and just to witness in person. It doesn't do the justice watching it on TV like I've been in the past. No, but yeah, no, everything about it being over here has just been awesome. Literally no complaints whatsoever. Even some things that haven't worked out in like good ways or in my favor, like the shoulder injury. It's all the learning experience, and like I said, that's racing. It's all part of it, and can't tread on what's in the past and what's happened. You gotta take what you can and learn from it. So I'm trying to keep that mindset as much as possible. And no complaints. Everything's just been going awesome, and just learning a lot. The experience has been experience of a lifetime.
You miss home?
Not at all. Like
really?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Nope. I mean, of course, the family, the parents, and friends, and almost most importantly, the food. That's the main thing I
Hey, be
miss.
careful
but-
now. Be careful. You're treading on thin ice now, buddy.
Yeah, no,
The food.
yeah, no, the food is something you definitely miss, but I'm not too picky of an eater, so
Ask him what he misses, Stefan.
What exactly? What is it? Macaroni cheese.
macaroni and cheese. No, it's main place is probably the In-N-Out. That's about almost every
The In-N-Out.
California that I miss leaving there. But no, it's everything. Like I was telling Greg, even when I went back last time when I was on the plane going back, it was about a 12-hour flight, and I was thinking like, oh yeah, when I come driving into town that I live in, it's probably gonna just feel like really good. Like, man, I'm back home, and it really wasn't that at all. Like, I was rolling into town and it just did not feel the same. Like, nothing like nothing like it did before. Like, it didn't really feel like home anymore. It's weird. Like, it's kind of hard to
A foreigner
explain
in
the
your
feeling.
land.
Yeah, no, it felt like almost like there's nothing here for me. Like I said, besides like family and friends and things like that. But there definitely didn't miss the racing at all, and just wanted to, like, right when I came back in town, I was already counting down the days till I get to come back over here, and
Bring your pastaroni.
yeah, got some other goodies that I eat back home, and put some boxes in my gear bag and stuff the boots, and yeah, no, but I'm already out of all that food, so we're
He brought over his some of his favorite dishes. It's right out of a box, you know. So you can whip it up in a couple of minutes, and you got your evening meal or your lunch or whatever. So we've been giving him a hard time.
Oh.
That used to be macaroni and cheese for me.
Yeah.
In a box.
In a box.
Yeah.
Ah.
And now he's got pastaroni.
pastaroni.
Oh.
And he goes crazy for pastaroni. I mean, he's like, I don't know if you have any left in the house now. Do you have?
I got one box left. I'm saving it. And Oscar's even asking last night if he can.
I heard him.
Yeah, if I'm gonna have some of that made for when he gets home. Like, I don't know, dude. That's my last box. I think I'm saving that one for just me.
You will have it till you be world champion. We'll save it because you don't know
that's
when you
right.
get back.
That's mine.
That's
Yeah.
mine.
That
No,
thing's got
it's-
like a vouch class stamp on it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, world class stamp.
What is that?
Vouch class.
Huh?
It's world class.
World class.
You know, everything we do, we're trying to put a world class stamp on it, right? So, you know,
That's the new thing.
yeah, it's a new thing. And people already heard us. They've already seen that we're throwing out the world class vouch class.
Vouch class. Yeah.
So we have to teach all the English speaking nations that you can be world class or you can be vouch class.
Yeah. Vouch class.
I don't even know if I say that right. Vouch class.
Vouch class. Yeah, I
Vouch
think
class.
you do. Yeah.
Vouch
Vouch class.
Can you say that?
What is it?
Vouch class.
Vouch class.
Yeah.
There we
Perfect.
go.
Like a natural.
Yeah.
You are.
Your first
also.
Swedish word.
We should have the stamp right now. We could just like bang.
Bam.
We could just put it right on the forehead.
Yeah.
Vouch class.
Oh yeah.
We should do a stamp.
We should do stamp.
We're gonna stamp it.
Yeah, we gotta
Just
stamp
to be continued.
it. True.
It's to be continued. So now you're here. You've been ripping it up. You've had all that. The opportunity of a lifetime comes out with the Speedway of Nations. You also recently made a contract with Nässjö in
Yeah.
the Swedish Allsvenskan.
Wow.
So he is currently waiting for all the paperwork to be processed. And if everything goes smooth and the club can get it in place, he's going to be a regular rider here in Sweden in the near future.
Oh, that can be this season.
Yes.
That's
Very
really
soon.
cool.
So
Yeah,
he's
we're
in-
just waiting for the work permit stuff to come through, and then I'll be good to go.
So,
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'm stoked on it. It's first European contract that I got sealed, and keep my fingers crossed everything goes good with the work permit, but we shouldn't have any issues over here. So it's looking like a go. Just waiting for that to come through, and if it comes through in say the next week or so, then of course I'm probably gonna have to hold off for another week till I'm fully fit with the shoulder, and then I'll be having my first league match and the debut for the team.
That's really cool.
So that's moving. I'm working on things in Poland too, but the injuries kind of slowed everything down at the moment. So we're just kind of cruising just to see how long it's going to take for him to get back to full steam. But I don't think it'll be very long.
Nah.
We're going to let him baby the shoulder for a little while, you know. I know all about shoulders, as we all know. We're just giving a hard time. We have to.
Yeah.
Otherwise, sympathy is not going to do him any good.
No.
He won't get that at our house.
Not at all.
No, not from me. Not from Oscar, definitely not. Oscar's already pretty much trying to make him do push-ups and stuff.
Yeah.
Come on. Man up.
He's not...
I thought it was Calle's thing. Come on, Luke.
Yeah, what's up? You want to play with me?
Yeah, no. Oscar's definitely probably the ones that being the most hardest on me.
He just called me and said something about like a Mexican.
Oh my god. How to bring it up. I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. What's the next subject?
There was something about the passport, wasn't it? They were concerned that he didn't look like a real American.
No.
He looked more like he was from one of them South American countries or maybe Mexico.
Yeah, that was I thought of too. I mean.
Oh, was it that natural for you too?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Nope. For all you out there, I'm not Mexican. I'm El Salvadorian. It's completely different.
But you actually have some roots, or no?
No, not from
El Salvador.
El Salvador, but not from. It's different than being from Mexico. So
yeah. We've been riding him hard on this, and we keep giving him a hard time and saying, "Where are you from, man?"
And they introduced me as a little Mexican immigrant that they brought over.
I told him he needs to change the little missile on the back of his suit to little Mexican.
Oh.
People say that I look Italian or an Indian or something, so yeah, I'm kind of tribal.
Yeah.
Got a feather in my cap.
Yeah. You have to find something. I mean, you had the green thing, and then we have magic. And now we have the Mexican.
We have the Mexican. He can be like, it can be a little hot tamale on the back of his suit.
Like a hot jalapeno.
Exactly.
That's your the brand.
Andale.
The jalapeno.
Yeah. Jalapeno. Here comes a little Mexican. Andale.
Tequila.
Yeah, that's back to the tequila.
Yeah.
Right. Do you want to talk about the tequila infused bananas?
No.
Are you really doing that? Is that for sure?
Yeah, I mean, in Sweden it's so hot right now, so we can actually grow bananas in the backyard. Like a banana, like one of those banana palm trees thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw you had one in the back.
I just have one.
So I also saw the bottle of Jose Cuervo tequila sitting next to the plant.
Mm-hmm. That's because when I water the plant, I mix it up with tequila, so I have the banana tequila mixed right in the tree.
Come on.
It's really cool because you try them, look.
Yeah, I tried one.
What do you think?
I didn't taste too much of a difference till you guys were telling me after I started eating it. I'm like, man, are they messing with me, or is this a joke or what? But it tastes like a regular banana to me.
But you lick on the skull.
On the skin of the banana?
Yeah,
on the peel.
Skin.
On the peel.
On the peel, yeah. That's where it's
it?
most. It's like.
Did I lick it?
Did you lick
No, I didn't lick it.
He looked at me like, no, I didn't lick it.
Because that's where the liquor is.
Really?
It's in the peel.
Did you pour it on the banana or do you pour it in the soil?
In the soil. And then the peel is like taking all the alcohol. And the banana is just taking some taste of it. So all the alcohol is in the peel.
I wish everybody listening to this podcast could see Stefan's expression right now when he was explaining how the
it's almost like a microphone.
The hand gestures.
The hand gestures were. It's a good thing this is a podcast and not a video blog. We'd have a few questions.
Yeah, I should have took a Snapchat of him and
Oh,
just
yeah.
muted the
Yeah.
sound.
Okay, so we noticed the difference because after you ate the banana, you were way more relaxed.
Really?
Yeah.
I think it's good for the shoulder too. It's like a holy shot of healing.
And actually, that was kind of the decider for me that he's not really a true Mexican.
No, exactly, because then he should have been start dancing if you go to tequila or something. Like,
he would have asked for like salt and the lime or something.
oh yeah.
You know?
I would
So-
have salt and lime for my banana.
Yeah.
Dude, it hurts.
Oh, see, my shoulder feels fine now.
Yeah.
Got any more of them bananas? Tequila banana.
Jalapeno.
Yeah.
No.
Well, we're hoping that you're going to be better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no,
You
it'll
will
go by fast, I'm sure.
What's your goal for the end of the year?
Goal for the end of the year. That's, well, most importantly, be fit, not have any more injuries, and not put anything out that will have anything put me out of the season or anything like that. And another main goal is to, I know I got the Swedish deal lined up right now. We're in process of negotiating something in Poland and something in Denmark as well, and that's looking really positive. So the main goal before coming over was trying to get hooked up in those 3 countries. And for my first season, I know it sounds like a lot for my first year being over, but I'd much rather be just tied up, just busy, and not really have any time on my hands, and only having one contract and then having the other days of the week not really doing anything or anything like that. I'd much rather be just slam busy than not, just because then that's keeping my mind focused and getting as much seat time as possible. So learning more all around, and then make the most money that way too on top of it. But
Sure.
no, just everything about it. I think that's the better way to go and get me ready for the future and prepare me for what's to come.
I have a question. You've been spending some time, obviously, with my mechanics, my crew, everybody in Poland, the guys here too. And how do they, when you're there, obviously you're living in a foreign land for a period right now, you're having your little base over here too. What is it like? I mean, mixing, I haven't been with you, you've been there by yourself, obviously they all speak English, but suddenly you're on your own. Do you feel like, is it hard to blend in and just kind of, or stand back? I keep telling you to go at it, not with tunnel vision, you got to go and have everything open. And if you do that, there's so much more out there. You can learn so much more. You take it all in, and you meet a lot of cool people.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, how has it been? You're meeting Raf and his crew and his family. I mean, they let you stay at their place for a couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
He made jokes that you were his only son. He's got 3 daughters and hasn't ever had a boy. So we called him. I was calling you his oldest son, and but you mixed it in there. Was it hard?
No, I mean, not too bad. I know it's just
Different.
like where he's staying is kind of a little bit out in the country. So I was going. I had my own bicycle, so I'd ride down. I had this restaurant that was about 10-minute ride down the street, and go down there. I was there about almost every day that I was at his house, so they knew my face for sure. And then and then there's one waiter that spoke English. All the other ones don't really speak any English. So
And that was at that Credence,
Yeah,
right? Outside
so
Wroclaw there. Yeah.
there's a few times when that waiter wasn't there, and I'd try to order with these people, and I'd say something, they'd be like nodding their head like they got it, and then they bring out something completely different. I'm like, no, I'll just take this place actually had burgers, so I get burgers probably most of the time I'm there. So
They're cool people in there too, and they have really good food, huh?
Yeah,
That's
no,
great.
really good food. But no, yeah, everything about it, it's not been hard or anything. It's just, like you said, not looking at it with the tunnel vision, just keeping the open mind and just learning from it all. It's been a really cool experience, and being away from home and long away from home, and having to, when you're on your own and trying to just get around, it's a different feeling. It's even when I was away from you for like 2 weeks or so, 2.5 weeks or so, then when you came back, I was like, yeah, dude, it feels nice to hear an American accent like in person.
Did
talking.
you miss me? Did you really miss me?
I missed you, dude. But
Aw.
no, it was good. It was good for me, and yeah, like you said, it's all about getting my feet wet right now, and
What about Maciek?
yeah, got to spend a little bit of time with Magic. He's awesome, dude, and
Everybody knows I have big respect for that kid. He's one of those guys. I wish he was my kid, in that way. But just all around great person. So he's been cool to open the door to you too, huh?
yeah, no, he's been awesome, and couldn't thank him enough for everything that he's been doing with me. Just he really makes you feel. How do you explain it? He makes you feel at home when you're staying with them, and he's just a real good person, good vibes to be around.
Totally.
So no, he's an awesome guy, and yeah, no, everyone I've been around has been good people and been surrounded by awesome people, and probably the best that I can. So super fortunate for that, and yeah, no, everyone's been treating me really good and helping me out as much as they can here. Anything they can help out with, they've been helping me, and
And Maciek's been good too, because he's been, when Luke's with me, I'm the family guy and wife and kids, and even though we've been here a lot before Jenny and the kids came back, but it's I have a lot going on every day doing my own thing, and I'm thinking, man, he probably wants to go out and have a good time and go meet a bunch of other people that are his age and have do this and that. So I'm like, he's gonna get so bored with me after a while. So I was like, so cool when Maciek's like, dude, come stay with me. And at least they can go out and do, cool stuff.
Yeah.
yeah.
So I think they had a little bit of fun the other night.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, he had to pay the price for a little lack of sleep, and I'm sure there was no hangover involved. I'm sure it was totally tired, just tired.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thirsty.
Yeah, he was just tired.
Yeah. But is it hard? I mean, the schedule is kind of massive in that way, and new country, and it's hard to find friends. Or is it?
Yeah, no, it's
to
more
hang
just finding friends along the way. It's not like, we've been kind of busy doing something almost every day, and like you said, a lot on the schedule. So it's more just the people you meet along the way, and yeah, I know came across some pretty cool people and good people to know for the future, and yeah, no, it's been awesome.
That's cool. That's really cool.
When's the next U.S. championship?
That is June 23rd, and I race June 16th in Vetlanda, Sweden for my qualifying round for the Under-21 World Championship. So I'll end up heading back. I believe my flight's booked for 3 days after that. So I fly home on the 19th and then race the 23rd for the national round, and then I don't have flights booked yet, but then head back out right after that, come back over here. So that's the Under-21, the national round, and then my debut for the Swedish team right now is the big things coming up on the agenda.
That's right. Do you feel pretty confident for the Under-21?
Yeah, no, couldn't be backed and supported by any more better people with the Hancock High team, and I'm going to be teamed up with Bartek Smektala. It's an individual race, but we're going to be how you guys kind of are in the
under
GP.
Hancock High
Yeah.
banner, huh?
So we'll, I feel like I got a good chance. Of course, don't want to say too much, as your mechanic Bobo would always say, don't say too much, so I'm not going to say too much, and I'm going to for sure give it 110% and see what I can walk away with. Just main goal for right now is just to make it out of the qualifying round into the finals.
That's it. That's obviously, and everyone wants to get there. So he has a great chance. But no matter what you have for equipment, you still have to ride it. So he's been riding some different stuff all the time, and we don't tell him too much, literally. And he's constantly asking questions about the bike and the type of gearing and the carburation and the ignition and everything. We just said, don't worry about that. Just go, because we don't want him to get it in his head that it's got to have this and it's got to have that and it's got to have this. And it's really tough to differentiate that, because we also want him to have a little book of notes of where he's been, what tracks he's been at, and what gearing and what this and what that. So we're telling him, you need to do this, you need to do that, but at the same time, we're not giving him all the information, because we don't want him to have too much in the head. We just want him to ride and find the lines and feel the bike, and so that this is our way of teaching, because I think a lot of the kids today, they go out there and all they have in their head is that they got to have this gear and this carburation and this wheelbase and this ignition and all these things, otherwise they can't win. But
yeah. It's like when you have to turn on and off the lights 4 times and knock your head, and
yeah,
otherwise you don't.
Exactly. It's the same deal. Otherwise you can't win.
Exactly.
You just can't win.
Huh?
So we're keeping all the notes for him and pass it all over, but we're always curious what kind of questions he's going to ask, and he keeps asking all the time. And what gear did I have on last night? I don't know. Ask Ralph.
Just don't ask. Ask when you get the new hamburger.
That's right. And that's the best.
I'm hungry.
Because Ralph will say, we had a 55 on, and then Oscar will say, no, we had a 54 on. And then I say, I'm not really sure. He's like, great.
Perfect.
So it's pretty cool like that.
Yeah, you don't see it if you look at the bike.
No, you can, but no, there's just a lot that goes into it. Like, I ask him a lot of questions. Like you said, a lot of questions asking, what does this do differently? Like, what do you feel this does differently compared to this? And like, well, I don't want to tell you. I want you to go out and figure it out for yourself and get the feeling for it. Because, like Greg said, a lot of these riders, they just kind of only know how to go out and just ride wide open. They don't really have a good, like, natural feeling for their bike. And
monkey see, monkey do. A lot of. I mean, that's just life in general. If he's got a really cool blue BMW, I want that. That thing's cool. I want one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so no, it's just
I can see.
all about
Exactly.
getting a feel for it. And I know Greg's probably the king of that right now, and he has probably one of the most feels for his bike out of a lot of riders out there. He can.
I wouldn't call it king. I'd call it anal.
Anal.
I'm just anal. Like, everything's got to be this way or be that way, and if it's not, then it's like, I can't win.
Yeah, like the slightest tweaks on the bars, or littlest tweaks on the clutch lever, and he's like, something's wrong. Right, he sits on it, something's wrong, something's not right, and he knows it right away.
And that's like Lars Larson, the great Swedish Lars Larson, said to me, like, I don't care if you tell me you want a ham sandwich on the gas tank. I'm going to put a ham sandwich on the gas tank if you're going to win the race. Like, yeah, that's true. You got to have it like that. But no, he's learning quick, and it's, like you said, you got to have a feel for the bike. If you don't have that, you can't just go out there and the guy says put a 56 on the back and a 210 main jet and your ignition on 25 degrees and your wheelbase right, just a little bit forward from the middle, and that's perfect. And you go, maybe you do that, you put it in your head, you go out and you win one heat, and then the next heat you miss the start completely and you're at the back, and you're thinking, what the heck happened there? Well, what jet did you have? And then they start, maybe it was the jet. So then they go change the jet. Well, the rider can make a mistake too.
Yeah, of
it's
course.
not all in the bike. Most of these guys have it in their head. It's just in the bike. If they don't have the engine working, they can't win. But there's a lot you can do with the bike, and sometimes you get on the track and you realize, maybe we've made the wrong change here. And you can do a practice start and you're thinking, that was not what I was expecting. You should never expect.
Exactly.
And
never expect. You only get let down.
Yeah, know how to pinpoint what the problem is. There's so much that goes into it, and if you have the actual feel for everything, then you never want to be in the stage where you come in from a race and you don't know what to change. It's not right, but you don't know what to change because there's so much that goes in. You don't know what would benefit and what would help it. And then when you're able to come in and right away know what you need to do differently, and
At
the
least
slightest
that one, yeah.
tweaks, and it's a combination of everything that makes it work. But
Experience.
the slightest tweaks here and there on all these little things like jets and wheelbase and ignition and
But do you know that?
everything about it.
Can you go back to the mechanics and say that we need to change this thing? Or do you say that I have this feeling and you have to fix it?
I used to get so involved with my equipment and so involved with my engines and so involved with my carburetors and everything that I do this, do this, do this, do this. And in one way it's good, because if I say do that and it doesn't work,
Yeah.
I'm the only one who can blame myself. But now that these days, the crew that I have, they know me better than I know myself much of the time. And the engine combinations, I don't want to know too much. I want to ride the bike and I want to express my feeling. So my expression from what they see on the track, and they put them together, they make the adjustments. And a lot of times, you know, we shoot from the hip and it works.
Mm-hmm.
There's Speedway is really, really backwards in so many ways. So when it comes, you're dealing with wheel spin on the back tire. I think we've talked about this once or twice before, but you're dealing with wheel spin, and then you got weather conditions, you got track conditions, you got the guy who's watering the track, you've got how you're sitting on the bike on the day. If you put all these, the weather conditions, you set the carburation up for the weather and you set the ignition up for the weather or the track and blah, 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 it doesn't always mean it's going to work that way, because the track changes every lap. And on a hot summer day, it's really wet when you go out and you do a couple of laps, and the next heat you come out and it's dry and it's dusty, and everything you did to compensate for the last heat, if you're not making those compensations for the next heat here and there, you might find yourself chasing your own tail. So it's really hard to say that there's really specific proof that this works or that works. So you have to ride with the feeling. That's why I'm so hard with him to... You've got to feel the bike. You got to understand what it's doing, because it doesn't matter if you take 2 teeth off the back sprocket. It might lug the engine down a little bit, but once the engine starts to spin that small sprocket, it's really hard to stop it. So you have to, your throttle control is what controls the wheel spin. So you have to ride the bike a little bit, and I like to just explain my feelings to the guys. And many times I come in, I can say right away, no, we have to drop 1 tooth or 2 teeth, or that jet change that you did or that ignition change that you did, I can feel it. You've killed the power completely, or it's way too much power. You have to calm it down.
Oh, that can happen.
That can happen. And that happens a lot. And that part I think that I'm pretty good at, to explain what I like. All I know is that if something isn't right, I come in and say, something's missing, or there's a vibration, or I don't know what's wrong with the clutch, but it's not hitting the way it did, or there's some slack, or it's not always just the case that I missed the jump. Something's not right. And that's why I missed the jump, because something is not right. If I missed the jump myself, I come in, it was me. I'm always honest that I screwed up. But sometimes when I didn't screw up and I still missed it, I'm like, something's not right. That's why I missed it.
All right.
And they just said, it's you.
Always.
Your head's not right. You're anal.
Or you're getting old.
Yeah, I'm getting old. That's what it is now. That's what I said to him in Prague, too. I'm like, am I crazy? Or do we have a clutch problem? And I said, maybe you just had a bad day. Okay.
All right, go for that.
Yeah, we'll leave it at that. I had a bad day? Or am I crazy? Or did I have a clutch problem? So we went away with that one.
Oh, that's cool. Talking about getting old, we have to congratulations, Greg, this Sunday.
Yes.
Just one more.
Are you saying I'm getting old?
No.
You just said talking about getting old.
Talking about getting... I said that.
Yeah, I did say you are getting old. And you will always be older than me. I mean, I'll be older than you.
At least on the numbers.
Yeah, but I got you. I got you on the numbers. And Rafael Hai, my crew chief here, turns 40 as we were recording this podcast.
No, it is today.
Today.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you.
Happy
birthday, dear Rafi. Happy birthday to you. Stolat, stolat. I'll stop right there. I don't know.
That's cool.
Luke, thanks again, buddy, for joining us. You're a 3-timer.
No, thank you. It's an honor to be on the show again. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
We'll be watching you. We'll be backing you. We'll be grilling you.
And it's cool to have you here in Sweden
Yeah. It's
to,
really
to
cool.
do the podcast.
Yeah, you got to come back again. Don't stay away from Sweden too long.
I'm sure you guys will see me around.
That's good. Well, we hope so. I'm Greg Hancock.
I'm Stefan Yanell.
Thanks for listening,
Yeah.
you guys. And check us out.
Yeah,
Social
man.
media at Real 45 Podcast on Instagram and Facebook. And
Make sure to follow us and leave us a comment.
are we going to make a new intro soon?
Probably.
Okay.
I think that Luke had a great voice, so
That's Jack Holder. That's on Jack Holder. We're still waiting for him, huh?
yeah, we're still waiting for
Yeah, that's good. That was a good one. Jack Holder.
We're calling him out.
From now on, maybe we should just tag him now in the hashtag, who is Jack Holder? I mean, maybe he's just full of it.
Yeah, he did.
He totally just blew us off.
He did.
Jack Holder. He should have been a girl.
Bye!
See ya!